This recipe is called Viennese creams, and it makes biscuits that you pair together, and in between them you can put buttercream or chocolate spread like Nutella or jam. So nice simple creaming method recipe. Start off with your baking spread and caster sugar. They go in together and they're going to get mixed together until they're really creamy and light and fluffy. So that's going to take a minute or two. So you start off on slow, otherwise it'll splatter everywhere. Once it starts to come together, you can work the speed up. So that's now nice and light and fluffy. That's actual time. I haven't stopped or paused at all. What you might then want to do is to use a blunt knife and just get all of that mixture off your beaters. Put it on the side for the moment. When you're doing something like this, if you lose too much of your mixture, it ends up a bit dry and you get quite a difficult time mixing the flour in. So once you get to this stage, now I'm going to use a spoon rather than a spatula this time, just to bring that creamed mixture down. Flour's going to go in, and all that's left to do now for this mixture is to get that flour fully combined. You might want to swap to a fork. I'm just going to see how it goes with the spoon. Turning the spoon, turning the bowl, and just keep mixing through, cutting through with the spoon until it comes together into a dough. That's probably going to take you about a minute to do that. You can see it's almost there now, so I'm not going to pause. I'm just going to show you in real time. At some point you probably need to just scrape out your spoon, because in the curve of the spoon you'll have a little bit of unmixed flour and sugar and butter. And as you can see now, they're starting to come together. Just sort of turn it over a bit and cut through so that you're making sure that it's all the same mixture all the way through. And that's about it. So what you would do next is you need to make sure you've got a clean, dry bit of workspace. Take my watch off now. And you get that mixture, make sure it's dry. Shouldn't need flour for rolling out. It's not a sticky mix. It is soft, but it shouldn't be sticky. And all we're going to do then is just to bring it together and roll it out into a long piece. Now at this point, if you think you do need a little bit of flour, that's fine, or you could be rolling it out onto non-stick paper. So I'm going to use the knife that I previously used. I'm going to cut that in half. Now altogether this should make 24 biscuits. So I'm going to just work on one half for now. Where am I? And obviously I should get 12 out of that. So I'm going to cut that in half again. So each one should make 6. Half again. Half again. So I'm just going to roll it to make it a little bit easier to see my markings. Each one will then do 3. Now it's important that you portion it out correctly. If If you're not sure, you could always weigh and try to get them as similar as possible. I won't say identical, but that's what you're aiming at, obviously. Once you got to that stage, you pick them up, you roll, and you drop it back on the worktop. So that's all we're going to do with them for the moment. Just to roll and drop. Work quite quickly because you don't want to melt that with the heat of your hands. Once you get to that stage, you then need a baking tray with non-stick paper on it. And what I'm going to do with those now, before I do the second half, I'm just going to put them on my tray, ready, out of the way. So I'm now going to pause and do my second half. So once you've arranged them on your tray, so if you've made 24 or 12 for half of it, they should fit nicely. Just going to flatten them down with a flat hand. They don't spread very much, so you do need to just press them into the size you'd like them to be. So once you press them all down, there's one more step before they go in the oven. So I'm going to use a clean dry fork and just press. You might have to just hold them down while you lift off. Press the fork mark into them. Now, as well as giving a little pattern, it also presses them out a little bit thinner. So they need approximately 10 to 12 minutes in the oven until they're a pale golden colour.